Good evening and welcome to Newsnight. My name is Charles Odongtho and I'm back again today with the continuation of the fundamental change debate. Last evening we discussed the beginning of that fundamental change, and of course with the same old man of the clan. He's right here, already seated. Andrew Mwenda, you're most welcome back.
Thank you.
You look fine, you look relaxed.
You forget to mention that they come from a newspaper called The Independent.
He is the managing director, not just coming from there, the managing director of The Independent. How is it doing, by the way?
Very well.
The market, is it okay? Is the economy doing well?
Can we discuss the issue?
We are discussing the economy today, Andrew, because 28 years ago, like we discussed yesterday, a group of young men and some few women moved into this town and promised that the economy would be radically changed for the better. I want just to start from you, because probably your story is a reflection of other Ugandans. Is the economy doing well for you?
You see, to discuss it in a much more analytical way, not this Ugandan posturing, you see, Museveni promised economic transformation. If you look at Uganda's economy today, it has not been transformed. You still have more than 60% of the population depending on agriculture for their livelihood.
Even, by the way.
You see, I should tell you that when we talk of transformation, it is occasioned by four factors. You have the movement of people to stop living in rural areas to living in urban areas. Yeah. That is a transition in terms of settlement. The second, you have most of your population stop depending on agriculture for their livelihood, they depend on industry and services. Is it just agriculture or depending on subsistence agriculture?
Not just agriculture. Going towards mechanized agriculture.
The richer a country grows, people will tend to shift from agriculture to industry, and since industry is based in urban areas, so you have a movement of people from rural to urban areas. Then you have the movement of people from being, let's say, clients or chattel to the state to people becoming citizens. And then you have administrative systems moving away from personal know-who to personal know-how. In other words, to technical know-how. You recruit people on the basis of merit rather than on the basis of ascription. That you are my friend, you are my political supporter, you are my tribesmate, you are my family member. If you look at all those four major transitions, what I could say in credit to President Museveni, I can say he has laid the structural foundation for the transformation of society, because the expansion of education opportunities, his ability to sustain growth over a prolonged period of time has led to increased urbanization, has led to the reduction of the share of agriculture to GDP, although it has not reduced the number of people who depend on agriculture for a livelihood. So in terms of economic transformation, he has performed poorly. In terms of economic improvement, he has performed very well. Uganda is not an industrial economy, it's still an agriculture-based economy. If you look at what is it that has led to impressive improvement in the quality of the economy, this country in 1988 was collecting 44 billion shillings in taxes. Yeah. This year, government of Uganda is going to collect 7 trillion in taxes. Even if you adjust it to inflation, it has been a humongous development.
But isn't there a problem with talking about that as a figure without contextualizing the debate in terms of the numbers? Because, for example, what some critics say is that if you look at some of those growth rate figures, Kampala, for example, several years ago, I mean, like in 1960, was 500,000 people. Today it's 4 million people. And therefore, if you talk about 1986, probably we were about, was it 16 million people? Today we are predicted to be about 35 million people. So is that still a development in your view?
Yes. You see, what I'm saying, therefore, is what Uganda has not seen is what Museveni promised, which is a rapid transformation of the society and the economy. That we haven't seen. So, but what we have seen is impressive improvement in the quality of policies. There has been mediocre improvement in the quality of institutions. There has been fair improvement in the quality of public goods and services. Now, if you look at the recent IMF, rather World Bank study of service delivery in health and education, of course it shows that it has been atrocious, but there has still been improvement. If you look at the quality of roads in Uganda, it used to take us about 3 days to drive from Fort Portal to Kampala in 1988. It takes me these days 2.5 hours to drive to Fort Portal. I can drive to Fort Portal and come back. Sure. So there is greater electricity being produced. There is greater telecommunications. There has been improvement, but what I'm saying is Uganda has not registered transformative change, which is what the NRM...
Can we keep it there, Andrew, right there? There is this argument by the NRM government that is read every year in the budget, 6.5 economic growth rate, 6.5%, 7.2. At one time, I think it almost hit
9 point something.
But then you have a situation where teachers every year are striking in order to get a living wage. Doctors, nurses are not being given what is commensurate with their work and the risk that they take, and that this is a productive sector. And so many of these things. Why is that happening 28 years, yes, and should Museveni really celebrate for that?
On that point, I disagree with most Ugandan analysts, because I think that the strikes by teachers, by medical workers, and by youth is a sign of NRM success rather than its failure. Because you see,
why?
When you have a rapidly growing economy, initially it will tend to concentrate opportunities in urban areas. So it leads very many people moving from rural areas to come and partake in opportunities available in urban areas. When they come, people in Uganda are getting more educated and getting more exposed. When people are more educated and more exposed, they tend to demand more. The problem is that the rate at which the economy can produce opportunities to satisfy people is less than the rate at which it creates expectations. So the mismatch between expectations and aspirations leads, rather between expectations and available opportunities leads to social frustration. That social frustration, you see it in strikes. I'll give you an example. In 1991, a teacher in Uganda, a secondary school teacher, used to earn, I think, 7,000 shillings as salary. Even if you adjust to inflation, today they earn about 600,000. Government teachers in secondary schools from 7,000. So there has been a significant improvement in the wages of medical workers, primary school teachers, and secondary school teachers.
But inflation has skyrocketed, and the cost of goods have gone higher.
No, even
and food is now more expensive.
No.
Life is generally more expensive, and fuel.
You'll be shocked to find that in 1991, a secondary school teacher most likely was earning about $70 salary. We can go back and check. And today, a secondary school teacher will be earning about $250. So even in terms of real income and purchasing power, what we call real income has improved. But what I'm saying is that people's expectations and aspirations have grown faster than the rate at which their incomes have grown. Also remember, there is something in economics we call the comparison group. You see, if you had $5 million and your income collapses to 500,000, you will feel very sad. If your income was 100,000 and it increases 200,000, you will feel very satisfied. So it depends upon where you are coming from. But as your income increases, it creates wider expectations. And what Uganda is suffering from is the growth of expectations that is faster than the growth in the services or the opportunities that can satisfy those expectations.
Can I then follow up that to ask you, how then, because I would ordinarily think that if you are singing to me and you are a government in power, that we have developed, we have gone ahead, that I should feel in my pocket a change, that last year I had 50,000 that I would stay within a month in my pocket daily. Today, to get improvement, I should at least have 100,000. How then should teachers be satisfied?
But exactly, that's what I'm telling you. I'll give you another example. In economics, we say that there are certain goods you consume until you reach a point of satiety. Once you're satisfied, any extra consumption leads to diminishing returns. In other words, you may get a stomachache because you've eaten a lot of food. But in income, if you earn $1 million today, you'll desire to earn 20. When you earn 20, you'll desire to earn 100. Yeah. So the appetite for access to goods, if you are a teacher and at that time you are riding a bike,
today you want to ride a motorcycle.
Tomorrow you may get a motorbike. When you get a motorbike, you aspire for a car. So you cannot stop people's aspirations. And I think that the NRM government and the Ugandans are caught up in that Ugandans have become much more aspirational. I don't think that NRM has failed to deliver in terms of the growth of the economy. Those growth figures, you can clearly see them. You can see the volume of cars on the roads. You can see the volume of houses that people are building. You can see the volume of consumption.
People say that most of them are actually because of corruption. That is why, because the teachers have nothing to steal, they have only chalk available, they have only the available
okay, let me give you an example of improvement in the quality of people's lives. When I was young, people in my village used to drink tonto. Now they drink beer. When in 2001, Uganda was selling 80 liters, that is 160 bottles of beer per day. Now, the two beer companies, Uganda Breweries and the South African Breweries, rather, Nile Breweries and Uganda Breweries, do you know how much they sell? 2 million bottles per day. You think that those 2 million bottles are bought by who? People who don't have income? I'll give you another example. In 2000, Coca-Cola and Pepsi-Cola combined were producing about 5 million crates of soda for a whole year. You know how much they're creating now?
And you know the argument in the villages that we are frustrated, so we have to drink to cut off the worries?
So really, if you could not afford the soda then, and now you can afford it. You know, to understand the growth in the welfare of people, you need to look at what I would call consumption. Consumption is a big indicator of an economy's purchasing power. Just look around Kampala. There is a shopping mall coming everywhere. We can't drive through traffic jam. It means more people are getting income. But of course, there's a problem with Uganda's growth. Uganda's growth is driven by the service sector. And the service sector does not tend to create jobs. If you look at countries like Taiwan and South Korea, which rapidly industrialized, even Britain and the whole of Europe, when they were industrializing, the vehicle for industrialization, the vehicle for growth was industrialization. Industrialization tended to attract very many blue-collar workers to work in factories. So it tended to be job-creating. Uganda's growth is driven largely by services. The services are not job-creating. So you will tend to have more educated Ugandan youth on the streets who cannot find jobs. Why? Because you do not have manufacturing. In fact, Uganda's economy resembles postmodern economies. Because if you look at the United States, there is a few jobs being created because the economy has gone into high-tech. It is in China where you have manufacturing that they are creating a large number of jobs. So it's not that the economy is not improving. Uganda's economy is growing rapidly. We can clearly see that you have greater consumption, you have shopping malls, more housing, more cars, more refrigerators. In fact, I was told, right now, Uganda could be having up to around about 3 million television sets. You find that it was about 50,000 television sets about 20 years ago. So this economy has really grown.
Thank you so much, Andrew Mwenda. Old man of the clan. I always want to call it of the town because he hasn't defined which clan it is.
All the clans of Africa.
All the clans of Africa.
Yes.
Thank you so much, and that was Newsnight.